Hey, let's have a little discussion here. Let's talk about what's going on with the convention scene of the furry fandom. Obviously, a lot of people probably saw my video. It's kind of ballooned a little bit more than I thought it would on my disdain over reading what happened over in the UK over a furry convention there, where it was reported 60 people destroyed the venue. And there is similarities to other events like this in the past. First off, I gotta say, most of these events don't have anything like this that happens. Usually you go to a convention, you have people that meet up, you have people that have a party, you have people that absolutely vibe with each other and have an amazing time. These type of conventions that happen where things roll over and things get destroyed, people just absolutely become unhinged. This is not normal. Not normal for any convention scene anywhere out there. So please, when you read these things, when you see these things, take it with a grain of salt. Know this happened. Know it's unacceptable and should be brought to light, and those that were involved should be brought to justice because there was a lot of damage. Now, I have read that at that event, there was a lot of things that happened that also possibly was the venue having things go wrong and the organizers having things go wrong. So from everything I'm reading at this point, everything I have found on it, I haven't dug too deep on it. Obviously, I have a very large comment section on this video because of everyone telling me how it is. And that's the way YouTube goes. A lot of it I tune out because I have to. If I don't tune it out, things get to a person after a while. And I sit there, I take everything with a grain of salt. Leave your comments. I've removed the most disparaging ones, obviously, because they just don't belong in there and it's not adding to the conversation. You want to add to the conversation, you want to provide more details, you want to say, listen, I was there, I had a lot of fun, yes, shit went down, it sucks it went down, but that's the way things go sometimes. I have seen things go off the rail before. I have seen what young teenagers and young adults will do with themselves when they put into a situation and they get riled up in a very wild-like atmosphere like the furries are. Yes, there is a very big wild side to a furry. Yes, there is a very big appeal to it. But when you tone it down just a little bit, we're all human. We all are human beings in the long run, and we just happen to like something that everyone else likes in this space. Everyone, including myself, this is something that I've dove into recently. Like this isn't something that I sat there and went, you know what, I'm a furry when I was like 13. Like I've spoken to a lot of people. They're like, yeah, I dove into this type of thing at the age of 13. I'm up here in Canada. These types of things don't really exist. I've spoken to other Canadian furries at this point, and they're like, yeah, I'm a furry, but there's like no scene. There's absolutely no scene. And I'm in a situation in a city where there is a large furry community. And because of that, it's a very vast, different sense and appeal to these things that you see in the community. I've been able to dive into a lot more. I've been able to reach out and speak to a bunch that are in and around this city, in and around the community, and I know a lot of them are absolutely fantastic people when it comes down to it. When I went to the convention here back in June, I had a blast. The first day I was there, I was like, what am I doing here? You go into these things and you have this absolute awe and shock, and you have no idea why you're there, especially when you walk into something like this alone. I jumped into this alone. I knew nobody, absolutely nobody. And I gotta say, if I walked into a convention and saw people destroying the convention center and destroying the venue, I would feel bad. And that is why I put that video. Yeah, I did it for my car in the real life format Cinder. You know what? I've done this for so long right now. I don't give two craps what people think about me at this point. You want to call me a name? Call me a fucking furry at this point, because I absolutely love it. I grew up with the raccoons. I grew up loving the Robin Hood Disney. Those were things that I grew up with, and they are part of my childhood, and I absolutely love those movies and those shows. Those are things that have actually driven to me here. It's just when you sit there and you go through life, and life happens and blinds you to these things for so bloody long, and not understanding that you could do so much more with yourself. That's where I'm at. So, anyway, enough about me. This is about what happened at that con. That con got derailed. Organizers, the venue, and the people. It sounds like it was a triple threat that all came together, and it was a bad situation that just continued to get worse. It sounds like there was mistakes that happened, and the mistakes couldn't be rectified, and it snowballed out of control. And these things will happen in any situation. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's a furry convention that's going to be there. It could be any other type of convention. There is shitty things that happen. You know, this makes me go back to when I went and saw Five Finger Death Punch, right? We bought tickets. We bought VIP tickets to go to this show because I wanted to meet the band. Now, when they put up the VIP tickets originally, they didn't say it was a meet and greet, but they said if there is a sound check, then they will add in a meet and greet with the show. And we're like, okay, well, most likely there will be a sound check. There will be things. So, you know, comes the day of the event, of the concert. And with the VIP status, you're like, okay, and this means we have to be there about an hour early to get our VIP passes, to get our badges. And part of it was to get into the venue a half an hour early and get to the merch table and be able to buy extra merch. Well, this was late in the tour. We walk in there, you know, you're like, okay, yeah, we get into the merch table. We can buy the things we want. Oh, that keychain? Oh, they're sold out. Oh, the shirt you want? Oh, they're sold out. What's going on? Why is there no merch? There was merch, but it was none of the merch that we wanted. The merch that we wanted was sold out previously on other shows. So they showed up, and the stuff that we wanted, we didn't get, and we didn't end up getting. On top of this, we were supposed to get a package of extra merch and all this other stuff, right? You're like, okay, whatever, that's fine. So that's one thing that goes wrong with this VIP experience. Then we walk in there. We walk into the venue and we're like, okay, there's a sound check. But here's the thing. Our badge doesn't get us into the sound check all of a sudden. They put out about 2 months before the show another level that can let you into the sound check. And we're like, but ours was supposed to cover that. Oh, no, your badge isn't good enough. You're not good enough to be in here. You spent all this extra money and you're not good enough to be in here, right? What do we do? Well, we sit there and we go, okay, well, we're here to see the show. I guess we're not going to meet the band. I guess all this other stuff. We're like, okay, whatever. Get into the venue. We get our drinks. We do all this other stuff. And there's a backstage. And we're like, well, you know what? We got these badges. Let's see if we can get backstage, right? So we go up. Security's like, oh yeah, go ahead. Go sit backstage. Okay, that sounds great. So we go backstage. And we have our drinks, and we meet a couple other people that have the same badges as us. And they're like, okay, yeah, let's sit down, let's talk. And we sit there listening to the opening acts. We sit there, we see Moody from Five Finger Death Punch up in a window. And he's like, yeah, come on up. So we go up, and security's like, no, you didn't pay enough. You can't get up to the venue. And we're like, what the fuck? What the F is going on here? We pay extra for all this stuff, and we haven't gotten a single thing. Yeah, we got backstage. All we did was sit on some of the equipment in the back, behind the curtain. That's all we did. We didn't get to meet the band. We didn't get to do anything. After that, security guard said, no, your badge isn't good enough to get up here. They kicked us out of the area. We're like, are you kidding? Anyway, we watched the concert, we left, we went home, we got the shiny badge, and that was all we got. What did we do with that? We didn't riot. We didn't get upset on the situation. Things went wrong. Things went awry. You know what I did? I picked up the phone, I called Ticketmaster and said, listen, we went to this show, we paid extra for these things, we didn't get what we paid for, and the situation was absolutely horrible. They turned around and refunded us the show. They refunded us our money. That's how you adult there. You don't go into a venue becoming unhinged because things go wrong. That's not how you do it. Yeah, we could have become unhinged. Yeah, we could have started kicking down curtains, kicking over amps, kicking over equipment and shit like that. We didn't do that. Why? Because we're adults. That's why. If you are going to a show to get high and drunk and to sit there and belittle and to absolutely destroy the venue because you have no self-control left, that's the problem. That's why this thing came unhinged. Yes, things go wrong. Yes, if the venue has a problem, you take it up with the venue. You deal with it, but you don't turn around and getting upset about it. Yes, I also get very frustrated at certain things and I show my anger when it does come out. And instead of me sitting there kicking things over and destroying a venue, I walk away. And that's what didn't happen here. That's what didn't happen here. People were kicked out of that venue. People were told to go away because they were ruining the experience for everyone else. And that's the last thing you want to do, is ruin it for everyone else. It's not just you at these venues. It's not just you having a party. It's not just you sitting there having drinks. You're having drinks with your friends. And in some cases, maybe your family. These are events that are meant to be welcoming. They're meant to be very open and very fun. But that fun gets ruined. There is always something going on behind the scenes. People get hurt. And you got to remember, you're there to have a drink with your friend, maybe hang out, maybe play some games, and just talk shop at this point. Yes, I know there's other things that do happen there. People haven't seen each other. They become more than just friends at these events. That I know. For me, I'm not taking that from this. If I go to a con, it's to meet people, it's to have fun with people that know what's going on. There's a very different sense when you get into the furry fandom. When you find something more, it's absolutely a life-changing experience. And that's where I'm at right now. No, it's not meant to be something like that. It's not meant to be like, oh, I'm changing everything in my life because of this. I'm not. I'm still being myself. But it's letting me open up and letting me talk my mind and be more myself. Sure, it's behind an avatar. I don't care. It's a lot more fun this way, is it not? You get to look at something absolutely amazing, don't you? Who doesn't like looking at this avatar? I sat there when I first hopped into VR chat. I sat there staring at myself, going, "What the hell is going on?" Yeah, I could sit there and be a whole muscular bodybuilding man, or a girl with large boobs or something like that. But that's boring. You see that every day of your life. You see people walking down the street. You see human beings all the time. What's more fun than sitting there in an anamorphic character and being able to actually have fun in it? Being able to play games, being able to converse with people across the world. These conventions are more than just something that you can destroy. They're not going to go anywhere. But at the same time, you have to sit there and take it down a notch. You have to remember you're there for everyone else. Why are you part of the fandom? You're here because you've been inspired by other people. You're here because you're having fun. But that fun stops when lives get hurt, or when venues get shut down, or when the convention cannot continue. That's the problem I see right now, and why it needs to have a different sense. Why, personally, everyone has to sit there and look into themselves and say, listen, I'm here for myself, yes, but I'm also here to be friends and to meet good people and to do a lot of good in that life. That's what I see. And why I think going forward, a lot of people got to take a deep look here. You got to look into yourself. Learn a little bit of restraint. Yes, it's a party-like atmosphere. There's no reason to riot. There's none. I saw when Vancouver failed to win the Stanley Cup and the city rioted. We've seen this in the past. We've seen this before. We've seen hockey riots in the past, and that's kind of where it's going at this point. It's going, if these types of things continue, it's going to give a very bad name for the word, for the whole idea of being a furry. And at the same time, there's already so much that people try and push negatively on this fandom that's not there. I've seen so much more positivity. I've experienced so much more positive things in life in such a short amount of time. It's literally turned me on my head. And the last thing I want to see is any of my friends get hurt. Last thing I want to see is any people actually get hurt at these things. You know, I think back to what happened at MFF, what was this, 2012, 2014? There was an actual chemical attack at one of these things. Absolutely disgraceful to hear about something like that. Absolutely. And I don't want to see anyone really get hurt. I just want to see people that enjoy themselves. Have fun. And enjoy your day. Anyway, I am your proud Canadian Phoenix, Cindershadow. I'm signing off here. Have yourselves a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you again very soon.